If you are over the age of 60, there are certain foods you might be eating every single day that could be quietly damaging your heart without you even realizing it. The truth is, as we age, our bodies become more sensitive to what we eat. Foods that once seemed harmless can start to affect blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and overall heart function in ways that are not always immediately visible. In fact, heart-related conditions remain one of the leading health concerns for older adults. According to data often discussed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, cardiovascular issues are among the most common risks people face after the age of 60. And what's even more concerning is that some of the foods responsible for this are incredibly common, found in everyday meals, snacks, and even quick breakfast options. But here's the good news. With the right knowledge, many of these risks can be reduced or even avoided by making simple, smarter choices in your daily diet. Welcome to the channel, where we focus on helping you make informed decisions about your health, especially as you move into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. In today's video, we'll go through 7 foods that doctors often recommend limiting after 60 to help protect your heart and support long-term health. Make sure you stay with us until the end, because some of the items on this list might surprise you. And one of them is something millions of people consume almost every day. Before we begin the list, it's important to understand why heart health becomes more sensitive after the age of 60. As the body ages, several natural changes take place. Blood vessels may gradually lose some of their flexibility, the metabolism slows down, and the heart can become more vulnerable to strain over time. These changes don't happen overnight. They develop slowly, often without noticeable symptoms in the early stages. Because of this, diet starts playing a much more critical role. Research discussed by organizations like the National Institutes of Health suggests that factors such as high sodium intake, excessive sugar, and unhealthy fats can contribute to conditions that affect heart health, especially in older adults. This means that small daily choices, what you eat for breakfast, what snacks you choose, what you drink, can have a bigger impact than you might expect. Now, let's begin with the first food that doctors often warn about: processed meats. Processed meats are extremely common in many households. Foods like sausages, bacon, hot dogs, and deli meats are convenient, tasty, and easy to prepare, which is why many people rely on them regularly. However, these foods often contain high levels of sodium and preservatives. Sodium is an essential mineral, but when consumed in excess, it may contribute to increased blood pressure. Over time, elevated blood pressure can place extra strain on the heart and blood vessels. According to guidance often shared by experts at the Mayo Clinic, reducing sodium intake can be an important step in supporting heart health, especially for older adults. Another concern with processed meats is the presence of certain preservatives that are used to extend shelf life and enhance flavor. While these additives are regulated, frequent consumption may not be ideal for long-term health. For seniors, the impact can be more noticeable because the body becomes less efficient at managing these substances over time. A better approach may be to replace processed meats with fresher alternatives. Lean proteins such as grilled chicken, fish, eggs, or plant-based options like beans and lentils can provide essential nutrients without the added sodium and preservatives. Even small changes, like reducing processed meat intake a few times a week, can make a meaningful difference over time. 2. Sugary drinks. The second item on this list is something many people don't immediately associate with heart health: sugary drinks. Sodas, sweetened juices, flavored beverages, and energy drinks often contain large amounts of added sugar. While these drinks may taste refreshing, regular consumption can lead to several issues that indirectly affect the heart. High sugar intake has been linked to weight gain, increased triglyceride levels, and fluctuations in blood sugar. Over time, these factors may contribute to conditions that are associated with cardiovascular risk. Research referenced by the National Institutes of Health suggests that excessive sugar consumption may play a role in metabolic changes that affect overall health. Another issue is that liquid sugar is quickly absorbed by the body. Unlike whole foods, sugary drinks don't provide fiber or lasting satiety, which means it's easy to consume more than intended. For older adults, managing sugar intake becomes even more important, as the body may not regulate blood sugar as efficiently as it once did. A simple and effective alternative is to switch to healthier beverages. Water remains one of the best choices. Herbal teas, unsweetened drinks, or even water infused with natural flavors like lemon or mint can provide variety without the added sugar. Making this one change alone can significantly reduce daily sugar intake and support better long-term health. 3. Deep-fried foods. The third food doctors often recommend limiting after 60 is deep-fried foods. These include items like fried chicken, French fries, and many fast food options that are cooked in oil at high temperatures. The concern here is the type of fats often found in fried foods. Some of these foods may contain trans fats or high levels of saturated fats, which have been associated with increased LDL cholesterol, commonly referred to as bad cholesterol. When LDL cholesterol levels rise, it can contribute to the buildup of plaque in the arteries over time. This process doesn't happen overnight, but gradually it can affect blood flow and place additional strain on the heart. As we age, the body may find it harder to manage these effects, making dietary choices even more important. That doesn't mean you have to completely avoid your favorite foods. Instead, the focus should be on moderation and healthier preparation methods. Baking, grilling, or steaming foods can provide similar flavors while reducing the amount of unhealthy fats. Even choosing to limit fried foods to occasional treats rather than daily habits can help support better heart health in the long run. Now that we've covered the first 3 foods, let's continue with the next items that doctors often recommend limiting after the age of 60 to better support heart health. And the next one on this list is something many people consume every single day without even thinking twice about it. 4. Excess salt, hidden sodium. Salt itself is not the enemy. The real issue is how much sodium we consume on a daily basis. Many people assume they only need to worry about the salt they add to their meals. But in reality, a large portion of sodium intake comes from hidden sources. These include packaged snacks, canned soups, processed foods, frozen meals, restaurant dishes. According to dietary guidance often discussed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, most adults consume more sodium than recommended, often without realizing it. For seniors, this becomes even more important. As we age, the body's ability to regulate sodium may change, and blood pressure can become more sensitive to salt intake. Consistently high sodium levels may contribute to increased blood pressure, which places additional strain on the heart and blood vessels. The challenge is that high sodium foods don't always taste overly salty. This makes it easy to consume more than intended. So what can you do? A simple starting point is to become more aware of food labels. Many packaged foods clearly list sodium content, and choosing lower sodium options can make a noticeable difference over time. Another helpful habit is cooking more meals at home, where you can control the ingredients and reduce unnecessary salt. Using herbs, spices, lemon, or garlic can add flavor without relying heavily on sodium. Small adjustments like these can support healthier blood pressure levels and reduce strain on the cardiovascular system. 5. Refined carbohydrates. The next food category on this list is refined carbohydrates. These are foods that have been processed in a way that removes much of their natural fiber and nutrients. Common examples include white bread, pastries, cakes, sugary cereals, white rice in excess. These foods are quickly digested by the body, which can lead to rapid increases in blood sugar levels. Over time, frequent spikes in blood sugar may contribute to insulin resistance, a condition where the body becomes less effective at managing glucose. Research often referenced by the National Institutes of Health suggests that these types of metabolic changes may be associated with factors that affect heart health. Another concern is that refined carbohydrates can leave you feeling hungry again shortly after eating, which may lead to overeating. For seniors, maintaining stable energy levels and balanced nutrition becomes increasingly important. The good news is that there are healthier alternatives. Whole grains such as oats brown rice, whole wheat bread, quinoa contain more fiber and nutrients, which help slow digestion and support more stable blood sugar levels. Making the switch from refined to whole grains doesn't have to happen all at once. Even gradual changes can have a positive impact over time. Mid-video reminder, retention hook. Before we move on to the next food, it's important to mention this. The next item on this list is something many people snack on regularly, often without realizing how frequently they consume it. And while it may seem harmless, it can quietly add up over time. 6. Highly processed snacks. Highly processed snacks are everywhere. Chips, packaged cookies, crackers, and ready-to-eat snack foods are convenient and widely available, which makes them easy to include in daily routines. However, these snacks often contain a combination of high-sodium, unhealthy fats, added sugars, artificial ingredients. Individually, these components may not seem significant, but when consumed regularly, they can add up and affect overall health. One of the challenges with processed snacks is portion control. Because they are designed to be flavorful and easy to eat, it's common to consume more than intended in a short period of time. Over time, this can contribute to excess calorie intake, which may impact weight and other health factors. From a heart health perspective, diets high in processed foods are often lower in essential nutrients such as fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Replacing processed snacks with more natural options can make a meaningful difference. Healthier alternatives include fresh fruits, nuts in moderation, yogurt vegetables with healthy dips. These options not only provide better nutrition but can also help you feel fuller for longer. The goal isn't perfection, it's balance. Reducing the frequency of processed snacks, even slightly, can support better long-term habits. 7. Excess alcohol. The final item on this list is alcohol, specifically excessive consumption. Alcohol affects the body in different ways depending on the amount and frequency of intake. While moderate consumption may be acceptable for some individuals, excessive drinking can place stress on multiple systems in the body, including the heart. Regular high alcohol intake has been associated with increased blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, added strain on the cardiovascular system. Health guidance often discussed by organizations such as the World Health Organization suggests that limiting alcohol intake can support overall health and reduce certain risks. For seniors, this becomes particularly important. As the body ages, it may process alcohol differently, and tolerance levels can change. This means that the same amount of alcohol may have a stronger effect than it did earlier in life. If you choose to drink, moderation is key. And if reducing alcohol consumption is an option, it may contribute to better long-term heart health. Now that we've gone through the 7 foods that doctors often recommend limiting after the age of 60, it's important to understand one key thing. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. Many of the foods we discussed are common, easily available, and often part of everyday routines. That's exactly why they can have such a strong impact over time, not because of a single meal, but because of consistent habits. The good news is that small, intentional changes can make a meaningful difference. You don't have to completely eliminate everything overnight. In fact, trying to change everything at once can often feel overwhelming and difficult to maintain. Instead, focus on gradual improvement. Small changes that make a big difference. Let's take a moment to talk about what you can do starting today. Because protecting your heart after 60 is not just about avoiding certain foods, it's also about building better daily habits. One of the simplest steps is to start paying attention to what you eat on a daily basis. Ask yourself, am I relying too much on processed or packaged foods? Am I drinking more sugar than I realize? Are my meals balanced with enough natural, whole ingredients? Even becoming aware of these patterns is a powerful first step. Focus on whole, natural foods. A heart-friendly approach to eating often includes more natural, less processed foods. These can include fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins like fish and chicken, healthy fats from sources like nuts and olive oil. These types of foods provide nutrients that support overall health and may help the body function more efficiently. They also tend to be more filling and satisfying, which can naturally reduce the desire for unhealthy snacks. Stay active, even in simple ways. Physical activity is another important part of heart health. This doesn't mean you need intense workouts or complicated routines. Simple activities like walking, light stretching, gardening, daily movement can support circulation and overall well-being. Consistency matters more than intensity. Even 20 to 30 minutes of light activity a day can make a difference over time. Don't forget hydration. Water plays a bigger role in health than many people realize. Staying hydrated supports circulation, digestion, and overall body function. Sometimes people confuse thirst with hunger, which can lead to unnecessary snacking. By simply increasing your water intake, you may naturally reduce cravings and support healthier habits. Managing stress matters. 2. Another often overlooked factor in heart health is stress. Chronic stress may affect blood pressure and overall well-being. Taking time to relax, breathe, and slow down can be just as important as diet and exercise. Simple habits like deep breathing, spending time outdoors, talking with loved ones, enjoying hobbies can help create balance in daily life. Why consistency is more important than perfection? One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to be perfect, but real, lasting health improvements come from consistency, not perfection. It's okay to enjoy your favorite foods occasionally. The goal is to build a lifestyle where healthier choices are made more often than not. Over time, these small choices add up, and that's where real change happens. A simple way to think about it. Think of your heart as something that has supported you every single day of your life. Every beat, every moment, it has been there for you. And after 60, it deserves a little extra care and attention, not through extreme measures, but through simple, mindful decisions. Choosing what to eat, choosing how to move, choosing how to live each day. These choices may seem small in the moment, but over time, they can shape your health in powerful ways. Final thought. Before we close, the foods we discussed today are not meant to scare you. They are meant to inform you, because when you understand how your daily habits affect your body, you gain the ability to make better decisions, and better decisions lead to better outcomes. No matter your age, it's never too late to start making changes that support your health.